In a world that feels mechanical, lonely, and transactional, there's a figure who doesn't just attract attention, they awaken something. They don't compete for desire, they create it. They don't chase love, they inspire obsession. That figure is the ideal lover. Unlike the rake who seduces through raw passion, the ideal lover seduces through dreams. They don't just appeal to the body, they appeal to the imagination. To encounter an ideal lover is to encounter someone who seems to understand what you've been silently yearning for before you even say it. The power of the ideal lover lies in their ability to make others feel seen on a level reality never has. They're the sculptors of fantasy, and fantasy, in psychology, is one of the most potent emotional forces. People don't fall in love with reality. They fall in love with the version of themselves reflected in someone else's eyes. The ideal lover understands this deeply. They know that people walk through life carrying emotional absences, desires left unfulfilled, tenderness never received, admiration never earned. The ideal lover doesn't offer themselves. They offer a mirror that reflects back everything the other person secretly wants to be. But let's go deeper. The ideal lover archetype isn't manipulation, it's emotional intelligence taken to its most refined form. It's the art of recognizing unmet longing and giving it shape. To become an ideal lover, you must learn to read the unspoken, the way someone talks about what frustrates them, the kind of stories that move them, the way they look away when love is mentioned. Every person carries a map of their ideal world in small details. The ideal lover studies those details until they can speak directly to the soul. Think of Cleopatra, one of history's purest embodiments of the archetype. She seduced not with beauty, but with imagination. To Caesar, she was ambition wrapped in charm. To Antony, she was danger cloaked in ecstasy. She became whatever his fantasy demanded, not out of deceit, but mastery. She understood that desire isn't about who you are, but what people see when they look at you. Or think of the modern version. The person who always seems to say what you wish someone would say. The one who listens deeply, who looks at you like they can see your potential instead of your flaws. That's not luck, that's presence. The ideal lover isn't pretending. They're paying attention on a level most people never do. Psychologically, this archetype sits at the intersection of empathy and projection. The ideal lover gives people permission to project their ideal selves onto them. They embody what's missing. If someone feels unseen, the ideal lover becomes admiration. If they feel bored, the ideal lover becomes adventure. If they feel lost, the ideal lover becomes home. And yet, the paradox is that it's rarely about the ideal lover themselves. They act more like a vessel, a mirror for other people's longing. They are both there and not there, real and illusion at the same time. That's what makes them irresistible. To apply this archetype in real life, you must understand one simple truth. People don't crave you, they crave how they feel when they're with you. When you make someone feel beautiful, alive, or understood, you create a bond stronger than logic. The ideal lover is a master of emotional alchemy, transforming ordinary interactions into moments that feel transcendent. In practical terms, this means you must cultivate two things: attention and imagination. Attention gives you access to a person's inner world. Imagination lets you paint it into reality. When you meet someone, don't ask what they want, listen to what they long for. What are they missing? What do they romanticize? What kind of love story are they subconsciously writing in their mind? The ideal lover steps into that role naturally, without forcing it. There's a quiet, devastating power in this, because when you embody someone's fantasy, you become unforgettable. You're no longer just a person, you're a symbol, an idea that lingers even after you're gone. That's why ideal lovers often haunt the memory. They don't seduce you into a moment, they seduce you into a story. But every archetype carries danger. The ideal lover can become addicted to being idealized, to living through the eyes of others. When you play a role too long, you risk losing your own sense of self. The danger is in confusing authentic empathy with performance. Once seduction becomes theater, it loses its power. The true mastery of the ideal lover lies in merging authenticity with artistry. You don't fake fantasy, you channel it. You bring out what's real, but hidden in others. And you do that by knowing yourself deeply. Because only someone who has explored their own depths can safely explore someone else's. In modern relationships, this archetype takes many forms. The artist who makes you feel seen through their work. The lover who understands your silence. The friend who believes in your potential more than you do. These are all fragments of the ideal lover, not because they manipulate, but because they awaken something sacred in you. At its essence, the ideal lover archetype is about transcendence. It's about creating moments where people feel they've touched something beyond the ordinary. That's why it endures through centuries. From Cleopatra to Don Juan to every poet who ever turned heartbreak into beauty, the ideal lover reminds us that love, at its most potent, is an act of imagination. If you want to embody this energy, start by learning to make others feel emotionally expanded in your presence. Don't flatter. Instead, reveal. Help people see the version of themselves they've buried under fear and self-doubt. When you can look at someone and genuinely reflect their best self back at them, you will always have power, not through manipulation, but connection. People fall in love with those who awaken their dormant parts. The ideal lover's gift is precisely that to turn ordinary people into mythic versions of themselves, even if only for a moment. That's what makes them unforgettable. In the end, the ideal lover doesn't promise forever. They promise transcendence, a glimpse of a world that could be, and for most people, that's enough. Because fantasy, when crafted skillfully, is more powerful than reality ever could be. And maybe that's the secret lesson Robert Greene was really pointing to. The ideal lover reminds us that human connection is not about perfection, but perception. It's about how you make people feel. When you understand that when you can move someone's imagination, you don't just attract love, you create it. As Greene wrote, appeal to people's fantasies. They will never forget you.